everyone, and welcome to Channel 8's coverage of high school wrestling. Tonight, Woodbridge and East Brunswick. Gordy Deal alongside Stu Kohn for what should be your basic competitive Greater Middlesex Conference Red Division matchup.
It really should be at that, Gordy. Both teams come in with identical records, haven't faced some tough competition this far. Both teams are eager to leave tonight with a win, and it should come right down to the wire.
All right, East Brunswick comes in with a mark of 1-3. Ditto for Woodbridge. Stand by for the Bears and the Barons. And welcome again, everybody. Wrestlers getting set to shake hands and look at the flip of the coin, or the card, I guess, as wrestling people call it. Both teams come in with a mark of 1-3, as we mentioned before. It'll be Woodbridge in the red, white, and black against East Brunswick in the home white and green. Scheduled at the 103 will be a couple of freshmen, Keith Richings for East Brunswick and Anthony Giamani for Woodbridge. Woodbridge coached by Jerry Bandola. Not a name you have associated with Woodbridge in the past. His first year with the Barons, but legendary over in the Old Bridge School District. Really made his name at Cedar Ridge High School, the old Cedar Ridge High School.
Sure has, Gordy.
East Brunswick looking to bounce back after the loss to Rawway last week. Score was kind of lopsided, but East Brunswick did well. It wound up actually losing several matches by a single point against a perennial state power.
That's the thing about wrestling, Gordy. It's winner take all, so depending on the bout score, it really doesn't come into play. And whoever has the overall most number of points gets all the team points. And it's Riching in on a single leg. Now he needs to come around and complete the move to score any points here. He's going to kind of lift the leg and try to trip it down, which in wrestling we call running the pike. Referee for this evening's contest is Kevin Rafferty.
East Brunswick bench yelling for Richings to get that leg up high.
So it's East Brunswick that scores first here at 103 with a 2-point takedown by Keith Richings. This is a key matchup for tonight. Could set the cadence for the rest of the meet. It's always good to get on the scoreboard first, and these two wrestlers are very evenly matched up, having wrestled all previously with Andrew Jim and Johnny coming up with a 9-8 victory. So it's Richings looking for revenge here at 103. Richings has got a leg ride in. Objection for Keith here is he wants to score and expose Anthony Giamani to his back and score points, near full points, as we go out of bounds.
Yeah, the interesting thing about wrestling, if you compare it to a sport like football, is that here you are at the 103-pound weight class, where I guess the majority of the time it's an underclassman like a freshman. And here you are on your varsity squad looking for a freshman to get you going, who's really been in school maybe just a handful of months at this point.
It's Giamani in on an escape, so we're at 2-1 here in the first. That's true, Gordy.
Yeah,
you don't find a lot of seniors at 103, and when you do find one, usually they have a good advantage maturity-wise over their opponents.
Whereas in football, you know, if you wind up playing a freshman, it's just highly unusual. Normally those kids have to wait a couple of years to develop just to get that size down, but here kind of wrestling is kind of an all-inclusive sport.
Both of these guys on the mat right now are year-round competitors. Giamani and Richings both wrestle all summer long, tournaments. So, you know, despite the fact they're both underclassmen, they're two very experienced wrestlers.
End of one period with Keith Richings on top of Anthony Giamani by the score of 2-1. Our opening match here, 103-pound weight class, heading to period number 2.
Giamani defers his choice to Richings. Richings has once the choice is deferred to him, can take top, bottom, or neutral. And Richings feels he can get out, so he's taking the bottom position. What Richie needs to do here is establish hand control, try to bust up and out.
Referee's going to send him back to the middle.
Germinati's father has been a long-time Woodbridge wrestling supporter. He's coached the recreation leagues in Woodbridge. So it's a wrestling family. And it's Richings with a 2-point reversal, looking for more as he takes Giamatti to his back. He's got at least 2 more coming to him.
Richings has built a 4-1 lead at this point.
So we're at 6-2 here in the second period. Richings on top for East Brunswick at 103. It's a key backpoint situation for Richings. There's a nice 4-point margin to work with here in the second. Coach Pazinko giving instructions to Keith Richings as they go back to the middle.
Glenn Pazinko now in his 9th season as the head coach at East Brunswick. You watch him during the course of a match, you can see at times he's ready to yank off the shirt and tie himself and get out there and work a couple of guys.
That would probably be East Brunswick's advantage. I think Glenn still's got it.
Sure he does. 20 seconds to go here, second period. Keith Richings of East Brunswick on top of Anthony Giamatti from Woodbridge by the score of 6-2. First bout of the night, 103-pound class. A couple of freshmen here.
Giamatti in on a single, just ran out of time there.
End of 2 periods, still 6-2 Richings.
You spoke about Jerry Bandolo earlier, Gordy. He was a legend at Cedar Ridge High School and then Old Bridge, and now he's fully retired from the Old Bridge school system, where he taught for many years, and now he's just enjoying life and being a full-time wrestling coach.
That is the life, I'll tell you. That would be my choice when I retire, just to keep a high school coaching job.
Now it's Richings working a near arm bar, and a far wrist, trying to keep Giamatti on the mat. It's Keith Richings in total control now. Giamatti picks up a escape point. So we're at 6-3 here in the third with 1.5 to go. Now the best offense for Richings here is to stay aggressive. Worst thing that can happen to a wrestler is you build up a little bit of lead and try to ride the lead and stay defensive, and that's when you really get yourself into trouble. The best offense is to stay aggressive.
Yeah, if you're trying to nurse it, I guess you kind of open yourself to an attack, don't you?
Well, what Richings has to do here is stay aggressive and keep working forwards. A wrestler cannot back on his feet.
Giamatti took Richings' forearm right across the nose as the referee, Kevin Rafferty, whistled him out of bounds. That'll make your eyes water.
It's Giamatti in on a takedown for 2 points.
Giamatti crawling back in this thing within 1 point of Richings now. Richings on top 6-5. 35 seconds to go here in the third and final period.
Now Richings needs to stay busy here. He needs to stay aggressive. He needs to stay out of trouble. He really needs that clock to tick down.
Feel the intensity starting to pick up here as the fans and coaches start getting into it.
So it's Richings that needs to avoid any serious trouble for 20 seconds to put East Brunswick on the team scoreboard first, as he's nurturing a 6-5 lead with 20 seconds to go here in the third period at 103. Our first contest of the night. A smart move by Giamatti. He's going to sacrifice a 1-point escape to Riching and attempt to tie the match with a 2-point takedown. So let's see if the strategy pays off for Giamatti.
Out of bounds with 5 seconds to go. A 2-point lead for Keith Richings.
So Riching's best offense here is, like I said, to go forward and stay aggressive.
Richings is going to hang on for the 7-5 victory. Gets East Brunswick off to a good start for 103-pound class.
Well, the key there was the 2 back points that Keith picked up. That was the difference in the match.
Get some quick instructions from head coach Gleb Pazenko. Get set for the 112-pound bout.
Well, we expect to be a close dual meet. That was a big win for East Brunswick to get on the scoreboard first.
At the 112-pound class for Woodbridge, going to get a look at senior Joe Giamatti, the older brother of Anthony Giamatti, who you just saw in the 103-pound class. And for East Brunswick, a sophomore, this is Mark Blackborough.
Wrestling his very first varsity match here.
Boy, first varsity match, he's got to go against a senior.
It's a quick 2-point takedown for Giamatti here at 112. Giamatti has him in a cradle. He's gaining back points. If he can establish 5 seconds or more, keeping Blackborough's shoulders to the mat, he could pick up 3 near fall, as he does as we go out of bounds here in the first.
Well, Blackborough's got his work cut out for him here against the more experienced Giamatti.
Giamatti back to the cradle, working it on the near side now. What Blackborough has to do now is kick, try to almost bicycle his way out of this to break the lock and try to get the wrist and hands apart of Giamatti. Not a comfortable place to be in for Blackborough.
Blackborough straining to stay alive here. And that's it. Giamatti's going to win by pin.
It's going to put our team score at 6-3 Woodbridge, going into 119.
Well, a tough setup there for Blackborough. First varsity match going against the senior. Giamatti gets the win by pin. $119-pound class. A couple of sophomores. John Gracie for Woodbridge. It'll be Nick Yanazzo for East Brunswick.
First of the Yanazzo tandem. His brother Chris will see up next at 125. Both Yanazzos are seasoned wrestlers. Nick, only as a sophomore, has got quite a bit of experience under his belt, having wrestled some varsity last year as a freshman. These wrestlers are locked up ear to ear, go out of bounds. We're gonna get a fresh start in the middle. We start, both wrestlers need to have 1 foot on a starting line, which you can't pick up from your TV screen at home. But there's a red line and a green line. East Brunswick and Woodbridge put 1 foot each on the line. Start the match as Yanazzo's in on a nice ankle pick takedown to score first here at 119.
2 points for Nick. 45 seconds gone by, first period.
Nick is one of those wrestlers that's really made remarkable improvements from his freshman campaign. Really enjoying the success. It should be one of East Brunswick's building blocks for the future. Real talented wrestler. Right now he's working the hammerlock. Gives up the 1 point. So we're at neutral. 2-1 score. Nick very confident on his feet. Feels he can take him down. Sometimes, you know, wrestlers will give that 1-point trade-off in order to get the 2-point takedown.
Getting a look at a couple of sophomores. 20 seconds to go, opening period. 2-1 Yanazo from East Brunswick over Gracie from Woodbridge.
It's been Yanazo, the aggressor here at 119. Gracie has to watch his backing up. If he continues to back up, he could get called for stalling. All your movements on your feet need to either be circular or forward.
Nick Yanazo is going to start down to begin the second period, leading at 2-1.
Look for Yanazo to explode right out and get to his feet. Yanazo in on the single. Turns it into a reversal for 2 points.
Yanazo cushions that lead a little bit, now up 4-1.
They might see Yanazo give up the 1 for 2 again. Yanazo taking him to his back. 2 back points with a quick tilt, quick turn to his back. Yanazo working a deep half now.
Getting busy in the second period with 1:18 to go. Leading 6-1.
The strength of the Woodbridge lineup is at the top. So East Brunswick wants to pick up some key team points down below in the lower weight classes. Take the pressure off the upper weight classes. Woodbridge very strong at 189, 215.
Less than a minute to go, second period. 6-1 Yanazo in control here. Referee Kevin Rafferty will send them back to the circle.
It's been all Yanazo here at 119. Yanazo working on the side with a tight waist. Now Yanazo's going to give up at least 1 point here for a locked hands violation. On the mat, the offensive wrestler cannot lock his hands around the opponent's body, only unless you're in a pinning combination. So you see Yanazo give up 1 point for a technical violation. Brings us to 6-2 here in the third with 30 seconds to go. It's Yanazo's responsibility to bring Woodbridge back to the mat. You can't stay on your feet with your opponent. The referee's going to give you about 5 seconds, then it's your responsibility to get your opponent to the mat.
.15 seconds to go, second period. 6-2 Yanazo. Working it here. He's got Gracie in trouble.
Okay, the shoulders need to break a 45-degree angle to establish back points.
Yanazo runs out of time here in the second period, but he still leads at 6-2 here in the 119-pound class. John Gracie from Woodbridge chooses a neutral starting point.
The neutral position is the best place to pick up a 5-point move where you take the wrestler down to his back, and that's really what he needs here. You really can't hold back when you're down by 4 in the third period. It's probably a good strategy by Woodbridge to take neutral. Yanazo holding onto that leg to avoid the takedown, and what Yanazo needs to do now is get his head to the outside and suck it in and convert it to a double. Yanazo needs to get his head up. Needs to get his head off the mat, needs to get his knees up. Okay, referee feels neither wrestler can prove their position, so he's going to restart them in the position they were in, which would be the neutral position. Benoit Yanazo sticking to his game plan here at 119. Gracie in on a single. Yanazo just trying to block it off.
56 seconds to go, third period. Yanazo still in control, 6-2.
See, all the officials have a little bit of a different style. Thus far, we haven't seen Kevin Rafferty call a lot of stalling. It's a subjective call. You see some refs call it a lot faster than others. Some officials will let the wrestlers wrestle, and others will be quicker to force action by calling stalling. I'm sorry. We haven't seen a stalling call yet from Kevin Rafferty, but to the wrestlers' defense, they've all been pretty aggressive on the mat thus far in our first 3 bouts.
20 seconds left to go here in the 119-pound class. Nick Yanazo from East Brunswick hanging on to a 6-2 lead over Woodbridge's John Gracie.
Now what Yanazo has to do here is just avoid giving up the big move. Needs to stay low, avoid Gracie getting any headshots, any headlocks, any throws.
As you mentioned here, advantage to keeping that lead is staying aggressive, and that's what Yanazo's doing here. And Nick Yanazo is going to win this in the 119-pound class by a score of 6-2 over John Gracie from Woodbridge. Good job by Yanazo, and East Brunswick back on the win column after losing at 112. And they have tied this thing at 6 after 3 bouts.
What's his kid's name? This is Chris Yanazo.
So we're going to get a look at Nick's brother Chris taking the mat here at 125 for East Brunswick.
Chris, a junior. We'll see who he's going to get. The program listed a couple of different things. And they are going to sub in Brian Ferry. Coach Bandola told me at the beginning he might give Ferry a look. So this is Brian Ferry for Woodbridge at the 125-pound class.
Well, the strategy being employed here by Coach Bandola is to maybe save one of his better wrestlers instead of using him against Chris Yanazo and try to utilize his better wrestler and move him up to 130. So a little bit of strategy being employed here by Coach Bandola, trying to avoid Chris Yanazo, one of the strong points in East Brunswick lineup.
So we're tied at 6 after 3 matches.
Yanazo had a quick takedown. He's up 2-0 here in the first. Now he's trying to work a bar. Yanazo wasting no time, working right into a pinning combination.
Giving Brian Ferry a good taste of that, Matt.
And takes him to his back.
Brian Ferry in some trouble here. Yanazo in command.
Yanazo needs to do is arch into it, put a little more pressure on the neck of Ferry, get the pin. Yanazo's fixing it up now.
.45 seconds to go. Yanazo just dominating from the outside here against Brian Ferry.
If Yanazo can arch his back here and put a little more pressure into the hold, you should see a fall, and you do.
There it is. Good job by Yanazo. That gets the East Brunswick bench fired up and the fans as well. And East Brunswick now goes up 12-6. Non-stop pressure from the get-go. Chris Yanazo.
So now we're going to see if the strategy for Coach Bandola pays off.
Each team with a pin now. And at the 130-pound class, now we are going to get a look at Scott Andersch, who was originally listed as the 125-pounder. Scott's a freshman.
Scott's a freshman. Coach feels Scott has a better shot here against Mark Meyer than he would have against Chris Yanazo. It's Meyer in on a single, deep single, trying to convert it to a takedown.
Meyer, the senior, matched up against the freshman Andersch, working the freshman
Myers.
early.
with two takedown and looking for more.
Meyer aggressive off the bat as well. 30 seconds gone by opening period.
Two back. Given from referee Kevin Rafferty. He's got a 4-0 lead for Mark Meyer. Meyer in on a standing cradle, trying to rock it back for more. Meyer hungry here at 130.
Meyer looks like a pit bull.
Very aggressive thus far. Mark had two older brothers that have wrestled for East Brunswick. Keith, class of '89, and Todd, class of '94. So Meyer completing the hat trick for the Meyer family.
I think Scott Anders taking a little inventory there as he heads back to the circle, making sure all the parts are in place. 47 seconds to go, first period. And Mark Meyer from EB up 4-0.
Very aggressive Mark Meyer here. We're seeing here at 130. Up 4-0, looking for more. Just working a tight waist and a head lever here.
Down to 25 seconds.
Next Monday, the Bears travel to Piscataway for a GMC Red Division matchup.
Explain why Kevin Rafferty made them stop at that point.
He felt it was a potentially dangerous situation, so to avoid any injury to any of the wrestlers, he just stopped them and restarted them. The main objective for the referee out there, the foremost responsibility is the safety of the wrestlers. As you see, Meyer's in on the leg. The knee's bent to the side to avoid an injury. You might see him stop it again, but we're saved by the buzzer here.
And Meyer pitching a shutout after the first period. 4-0 over Scott Anders from Woodbridge. Meyer, the senior, will start in the down position. Heading to the second period. East Brunswick riding a little momentum after Chris Iannazo's pin at the 125-pound class.
Sorry, thus far, Gordy, we've seen a very aggressive East Brunswick team. We've seen some good conditioning. We haven't seen anybody need to stop for timeout. We've seen a well-conditioned East Brunswick Bear team. Coach Bazinko working with a young bunch of kids. Mostly the East Brunswick team is made up of sophomores. So the future looks bright here in East Brunswick.
Yeah, both teams pretty young, actually, each only showing 4 seniors on the roster for tonight. And you're looking at one of them right now for East Brunswick, Mark Meyer. 130-pound class, 20 seconds gone by, period number 2. Meyer on top of Scott Anders, the freshman from Woodbridge, 4-0.
Okay, Meyer can't clam up down there. He's got to get up, work up to his feet, stay aggressive, and try to explode. What we know about Coach Bandola is the legend of the cradle. It's not a safe place for Mark to be camped out right there. Mark needs established hand control and explode up to his feet. There's that cradle we were talking about, the patented move of Coach Bandola. As Myers ducks under for a 2-point reversal just on the edge as we go out of bounds. So it's going to be Myers on top in the score and on top in positioning here. 1:05 to go in the second.
Good job by Meyer to get out of that one. Leads now 6-0. .45 seconds to go, second period. Mark Meyer looking to increase that team lead for East Brunswick.
What Meyer wants to do is keep working on the 6 points and maybe bring it up to a major decision. If he can get a gap in score of 8 points or more, the 3-point decision turns into a 14-point decision for East Brunswick. So that's what's on Meyer's mind now, is to stay aggressive and look for more points.
You mentioned before, East Brunswick looking for a little momentum in the lighter weights, heading into the heavier weights, because Woodbridge is strong, tends to be strong up there.
Right. East Brunswick definitely wants to set the momentum, get the points on the board low, take the pressure off the upper weight classes, which featured for Woodbridge Ryan Holiday, a ranked national wrestler at 189, and Joe LaGuardia, defending district champ at 215. So it's been all Mark Meyer here at 130 for East Brunswick.
End of 2 periods, 6-0. Mark Meyer from EB in control here over Scott Anders of Woodbridge. 130-pound class, heading to the final 2 minutes.
As far, I also seen a nice officiating job from Kevin Rafferty. Been in real good control of this contest. Keeping the match moving at a good pace. Meyer back to the cradle. And Woodbridge a taste of their own trademark under coach Jerry Bandola. Meyer needs to do now is take Anders back to the mat.
Meyer working the leg and Anders working the head. Minute 20 to go, final period.
It's Meyer holding on to that single.
Yeah, he won't let that leg go. Again, the two crash to the mat. And Rafferty whistles them out. These guys are exhausted. Anders tugging on the shorts. Meyer catching an extra breath on the knee. See Anders here with his hands behind his head, trying to increase that oxygen flow.
There's a new rule in wrestling this year, Gordy, where on the second injury time, your opponent has choice of position. So the new rule for 99 is paid effective. You see a much faster moving dual meet. You don't see the wrestler stopping as much. Afraid to take that second time out and lose positioning. So far, the new rule has proved real effective here, keeping the action going. You have a potentially dangerous situation again. So we're gonna get a fresh start. Here, Coach Bazinko giving Mark the option if he wants to let him go and look for the takedown, sacrifice for the 1 for the 2, or ride. And looks like Mark has taken the option of keeping him on the mat, looking for the back points. Coach Bazinko definitely wants to turn this into a major decision.
You might have seen Anders chuck away the mouthpiece right before they restarted.
What Myers has to avoid here is a stalling situation. Can't just ride, you must stay aggressive. You must come out to the side and look for a fall. So we'll see how the official calls this. He's going to call stalemate, doesn't see any advancement in the positioning. So 14 seconds to go in the third. We're going to get a fresh start.
Mark Meyer showing a little blood in the mouth, too. 15 seconds to go. Meyer hanging on to a 6-0 lead. These guys have been working hard in this match. Scott Anders and Mark Meyer. Good match for Mark Meyer. He wins at 6-0. And EB will go up 15-6. They've now won 3 in a row. Nick Iannazzo, Chris Iannazzo, Mark Meyer in succession have put East Brunswick up 15-6 after being down 6-3. At the 135-pound class for East Brunswick, get a look at sophomore Sam Moll. And for Woodbridge, junior Jay Zemanek.
Yet another sophomore for East Brunswick. So Sam Moll in on the first shot, a low single. Needs to get him to the mat to finish, to score any points. Comes up empty. There's Woodbridge working the front headlock. As we go out of bounds, we're going to get a fresh start back in the center.
Again, the 135-pound class, minute 6 to go here in the first period. Jay Zemanek from Woodbridge on your left. Sam Mole, the sophomore, for EB.
And Zemanek that turns an upper body into a drop down for a 2-point takedown. Gets on the board first here at 135. If you're just joining us, we have a team score of 15-6 East Brunswick here at 135. Both Woodbridge and East Brunswick wrestle in the Greater Middlesex County Red Division. Mull close to an escape. If he can get out of that front headlock, he can pick up 1 point. Fails to do it in the center circle.
And only 2 ticks left here in the first period. Zemanek of Woodbridge on top 2-0, 135-pound weight class.
The coin toss in the beginning of the match by the captains determines which team has to send the wrestler to the mat first in each weight class. So we'll see if that comes into play later on, where East Brunswick and Woodbridge weighed in more than one wrestler in some of the weight classes. So we'll see what kind of strategy the two coaches have up their sleeves. Both coaches anticipate this match coming down to the wire.
Get set to start period number 2 here, 135-pound weight class. 2-0, Jay Zemanek of Woodbridge in the black, on top of East Brunswick's Sam Mole.
What Mole wants to do here is stay under the arm, stay behind him, keep his weight over the hips of Zemanek. Doing a good job of riding here in the second period so far. One neutral for Zemanek. We're gonna get a 2-1. We're gonna get a 3-0 score in favor of Woodbridge here at 135.
Just over a minute to go here, second period. Got a close one here between Jay Zemanek and Sam Mole.
Zemanek working the front headlock. Mole trying to duck it under. So we go out of bounds.
East Brunswick on a little bit of a roll getting into the 135-pound class. They've won 3 in a row. Nick Iannazzo, Chris Iannazzo picking up a pin, and then Mark Meyer at 130. 30 seconds to go, second period. This one remains 3-0, Jay Zemanek. Out of bounds, and Kevin Rafferty sends him back to the center.
Both wrestlers looking for just a control position on their feet. It's Mull in on a single. Needs to do is lift and convert it. Coming around from behind. No points yet.
10 seconds to go.
Good weight on the call by our official Kevin Rafferty, and it's 2 points as Mull comes around.
And And Mull right back in it after 2 periods. 3-2 Zemanek leading Mull from East Brunswick 3-2 as we head to the final 2 minutes. It's been a good match so far.
Well, the best thing Mull did there is help his own cause, scoring 2 as the second period ended. Mull chooses bottom, feels it's his best position to score. What Mull needs to do is keep his head off the mat, stay aggressive, looking for 1 to tie, 2 to take the lead. Zemanek trying to work a near side cradle. I'm sure Mull aware of the time in the 3rd period, waiting to make his move. The crowd behind Sam Mull. The referee's going to stop that for potentially dangerous. High school wrestling, an offensive wrestler has in a leg and they go to the feet. The referee will stop that for potentially dangerous, unlike college, where that situation will continue.
Minute 5 to go, 3rd period. Sam Mull from EB starting in the down position, trails by 1 to Jay Zemanek, 3-2.
Another big change in the college rules this year, Gordy, has been in high school you start in weight class order, and in college they've gone to a random draw. So you can start in any weight class. As it's Mull and on a somewhat of a Granby roll to sliver out on top and take a 4-3 lead here with 37 seconds to go in the 3rd. So it's Mull looking to put East Brunswick on the scoreboard here at 135 with 4 unanswered points.
Good job by Mull to rally. 20 seconds to go, nursing that 1-point lead. Sam Mull.
Mull needs to keep him on the mat. Ten seconds to go.
Both coaches getting into it on the sideline. Mull riding it. Mull with 3 seconds. Mull with 2. Mull's going to win it. What a rally by Sam Mull to come back and give East Brunswick the win at the 135-pound weight class. A tight match the whole way. And Mull with 4 points.
So we get a look at Coach Bazinko congratulating Sam Mull. It's a big win for East Brunswick. Some valuable points when you can win the close ones in a tight dual meet. So Sam Mull doing the job for the Bears here at 135. Coming back from being down 3-0 and stealing a 4-3 win.
East Brunswick with 4 wins in a row. Going to get a look at Dave Konigsberg for East Brunswick. He'll be on your right. One of the Woodbridge better wrestlers at the 140-pound class, Omar Zen Al Abedin.
I'm glad you said that, not me, Gordy.
That's why his teammates just call him Omar.
It's Omar in first on a takedown, taking Konigsberg right to his back for a 4-point move. 2 and 2, 2 takedown, 2 near fall. So it's Omar with the early lead here.
Omar Zen El Abedin, just a junior. Dave Konigsberg, the senior.
Coach Bandola has had some good impact on Omar. Vastly improved since last year, since Coach Bandola has taken over the helm of the Woodbridge Barrons. Get a look at a very improved Omar Zen.
Recognize Dave Konigsberg's name. It might be because he's on the football team. He's a linebacker.
He's a product of East Brunswick Recreation Wrestling System. He's been in the system, worked his way up to the varsity level. So he's in on a situation. Let's see if he can convert it into a score here. If he can stay in bounds and pick up reversal. Looking for maybe 1. Coach Bazinko looking for a 1-point neutral there. Referee Kevin Rafferty felt Omar Zinn still had control. So Konigsberg starts on bottom.
35 seconds ago, first period. Still 4-0. Omar in the lead over Dave Koenigsberg. Koenigsberg's in a real dogfight here.
What Koenigsberg needs to do is pick himself up off the mat, get back to his base, back to his referee's position, look for a hand control. Get his weight off the mat.
There's one period in the books with Omar Zin El Abedin from Woodbridge, leading Dave Koenigsberg. Koenigsberg will start in the down position as we start the second period. 18-6. East Brunswick on top here. That's the team score. This is the 140-pound weight class. Can you pinpoint what it is that Omar Zin Al Abedin does that some of the other Woodbridge wrestlers don't, that they could
Well, he's very
maybe take note
physical.
of?
He's very physical. He's maintaining good control. He's keeping his weight heavy. It's a term used in wrestling where you're using all your body weight to keep it on your opponent. He's making Koenigsberg carry his weight, wearing down Koenigsberg. Keeping it very tight, his weight very tight.
Yeah, not a lot of space between the wrestlers. Omar seems to kind of drape himself all over his opponents.
As far as upsets go, Phillipsburg High School, ranked number 2 in New Jersey, knocked off the number 1 team in the country, Northampton of Pennsylvania. So New Jersey wrestling strong and well. For all you wrestling fans out there, it's a big win for the state of New Jersey last night. New Jersey's best beating Pennsylvania's best, 25-24 at Northampton, Pennsylvania.
How many people to have out of that one?
I bet you a couple thousand.
Probably a couple
they pack
thousand.
them in, and if you don't have a ticket ahead of time, you're not getting in.
I would take it pretty seriously out there.
Yeah.
But back to the center for Koenigsberg and Omar Zin El Abedin, 4-0. Omar still leads, 140-pound weight class, 57 seconds left to go in period number 2. Gordy Deal alongside Stu Kohn. Glad you could join us tonight. Channel 8's coverage of high school wrestling.
Oh, the weekend of February 5th and 6th, Gordy, we'll see all the teams in the Greater Middlesex Conference gather together for the GMC Wrestling Tournament, Piscataway High School. So all these bouts are crucial in the seeding and what bracket the wrestlers get put into. It's always an exciting time in local high school wrestling. It's the county tournament when all the schools go down in the same gym and wild things happen.
28 seconds to go, period 2.
So initial takedown to the 2-point back points is all the scoring we have here. It's Koenigsberg doing the job also, you know, keeping the score down for his team, knows team points are going to be crucial. So Koenigsberg has a mission too. He doesn't want to give up any more points than he has to Omar. He wants to stay aggressive, stay competitive, keep the score tight.
Yeah, he's done a good job of kind of stopping the bleeding, if you will, from period 1.
Exactly.
Omar got out 4-0 right off the bat. It looked like Dave could be in some trouble. He's done a good job here to get back in this thing.
Koenigsberg has his assignment. He knows what he's got to do. He can't give up a fall here. Omar being one of the better Woodbridge wrestlers, it's Koenigsberg's job here is stay aggressive and keep the score close and tight.
2 periods in the books now. We head to the final 2 minutes. 4-0 remains the score. Woodbridge on top here in the person of Omar Zin El Abedin. And Koenigsberg just inflicted a mat burn.
Well, he's working an arm bar. He's got an arm bar and a tight waist.
Might have heard a little yelp out of Omar.
Koenigsberg doing a good job of staying in control here. Trying to work that bar. Trying to step over the head.
East Brunswick's last match against Rawway, I watched somebody get a pretty good mat burn I guess wrestling is not a sport you want to be involved in too much around the time you're taking your high school prom pictures.
That's right.
With a couple of mat burns on your
Kohnsberg.
face.
Almost near fall situation.
Minute to go, final period. Could we see the same rally that we saw in the last match where Sam Mole came down from 3-0 to win it 4-3? Right here, Omar Zin Al Abedin continues to hang on to a 4-0 lead that he established probably in the first 15 or 20 seconds of the first period. Less than a minute to go here in the third. This is the 140-pound weight class. Dave Koenigsberg has emerged as the aggressor here in the third period.
Certainly right, Gordy. It's been all
Which was not what we saw in the
third.
Yeah, it was not what we saw in the first two periods from Dave. He looks fresh still.
Looks like Omar's ran out of gas here. A little too much, a little too late, though, for Koenigsberg with just 23 seconds to go here in the third. Really needs a small miracle. He needs either a pin or to take Omar Zin Al Abdul to his back twice.
"15 seconds to go. Koenigsberg still working it. Gonna give him credit for that. One more point for Omar Zin Al Abedin. Go up 5-0. 10 seconds to go.
What Koenigsberg needs to do here is really go for broke. Just try to take Omar to his back. He's just going to run out of time. A nice job by Koenigsberg. Strong, aggressive, didn't give up a lot of points. Stayed in this dual meet match and did a nice job. We'll see big things at Koenigsberg in the future.
So Omar Zin Al Abedin wins at the 140-pound weight class by the score of 5-0 over Dave Koenigsberg. That stops a streak of 4 wins in a row for EB. And at the 145-pound class, we get a look at Matt Kovacs, a freshman from Woodbridge, against Matt Kolbeck.
Be careful with their K's here, Gordy.
Yeah, a couple of mats on the mat. East Brunswick now leads overall 18-9. Each team with 1 pin so far tonight. Matt Kolbeck is just a sophomore from East Brunswick. His counterparts are freshmen. Some youngsters on the mat here. 40 seconds gone by in the first period. Still kind of feeling each other out.
You can mark my words. Give Coach Bandola a couple years at Woodbridge and he'll be a real powerhouse before you know it. So we're scoreless here in the first period. Kolbeck for East Brunswick and Kovacs of Woodbridge.
It's probably the longest stretch of time we've seen the wrestlers still sort of feeling each other out.
Well, both wrestlers respecting each other here. It's Kovacs trying to work a front headlock. Kovacs trying to throw it and spin behind. Kolbeck staying aggressive, keeping a good control on the front headlock with his near arm, blocking all the attempted shots by Kovacs. It's Kolbeck in on a double now. Just runs out of time.
Nothing awarded there as we come to the close of the first period, scoreless after one. Matt Kovacs from Woodbridge, will opt to go in the down position. It's really a thickly built freshman. Start the second period.
A 2-point reversal for Kovacs. Gets on the scoreboard first here.
.35 seconds gone by here in the second period.
So Kovac goes to a sit position.
Seen another tight contest here.
What Kovac needs to do is put two moves together here. Just kind of wrestling in spurts. He needs to go to that sit position and then put another combination together. It's giving Kovacs a chance to neutralize his moves, but not putting two moves together. There we go. It's Kovacs now in trouble as we go out of bounds. No change in positioning.
Remains 2-0. Matt Kovacs from Woodbridge on top of Matt Kolbeck from EB. 145-pound weight class. Just under a minute to go here in the second period. East Brunswick still leads the team score overall, 18-9. Still 6 matches to go.
A chicken wing there. Kolbeck trying to work a switch. Kovacs counters by stepping over.
Under 30 seconds to go, second period. Still 2-0 Kovacs from Woodbridge on top.
Kolbeck needs to pull that leg in, sit through, try to come around as we get down in time here in a second. Needs to pop his head through. He's going to get at least one, maybe two. 2-point reversal on the buzzer.
Nice job by Kolbeck to come back and tie this thing up after 2 periods.
It's the way to do it.
He'll choose the down position to start period number 3. Final 2 minutes, tied at 2.
Choice.
145-pound weight class.
Well, Kolbeck's decision to take bottom, it's a smart decision. Kovacs didn't have any success turning Kolbeck in the second period, so it's a smart move by Matt, taking bottom here in the third. Kovacs trying to work a 3-quarter Nelson. Kolbeck steps out in front. If Kolbeck could push away, get out of that front headlock, he could score here. Kolbeck's just waiting to make his move. Kolbeck with the 2-point reversal into a pinning situation. Fish right for the half. Smart move by Kolbeck. In the middle of his reversal. Saw the exposed head. Step right in for the half. Takes Kovacs to his back.
Kolbeck working it, leading at 4-2. Minute 5 to go, final period. Referee Kevin Rafferty shaking his head, said no, it's not there yet.
Kolbeck needs
for that
to
pin.
do now is arch his back. Needs to put optimum amount of weight on the Kovacs. Wants to also keep him in the middle. He's in a good situation here. Let's try to pull him back in. He's in a great pinning situation. He's on his toes, getting the maximum amount of weight he can into the hold.
Kovacs from Woodbridge on the bottom, hanging on for dear life against the pressure of Matt Kolbeck.
Matt Kolbeck with some strong wrestling here for East Brunswick. Picking up 3 points, giving up a 2-point reversal, but it's really not going to help him as he's going to have a 3-point lead here with 19 seconds to go. in the third period. Can't score points on the line. So safe situation for Kolbeck right there on the edge.
And 4 seconds to go. So Matt Kolbeck has come back to take a 7-4 lead.
Some smart wrestling from Matt Kolbeck. A pivotal match for East Brunswick.
What can Kovacs do here, being in the top position with 4 seconds to go?
Small miracle.
There's your match. Nice job by Matt Kolbeck. Earns the 7-4 victory over Matt Kovacs from Woodbridge in the 145-pound class. Gets East Brunswick back on the winning track. East Brunswick now takes a 21-9 lead over the Woodbridge Barrons as we move up to the 152-pound class. We're going to get a look at junior Paul Murphy from Woodbridge at 152 against Ben Goddard, senior for EB.
Ben Gold Shoes Goddard.
Better know what you're doing if you're going to wear those gold shoes. Goddard does. Moved here from Ohio.
Goddard in on a dump for a takedown. Right into a half. Trying to spiral ride. Paul Murphy picks up a 1-point escape as we go out of bounds. So we're at 2-1 here in the first period. Goddard being the aggressor here, 152 in on a takedown for a 4-1 lead.
Goddard looks like he's late for an appointment. He's anxious to get this over with.
He's not wasting any time out there. He's staying busy. He's trying to work a tilt now. He's on a 2-on-1 tilt.
I think if he had a watch on, he'd be checking it.
But he's trying to step through the legs here. Pick up a quick tilt.
40 seconds to go. First period. Goddard in control, 4-1 over Paul Murphy of Woodbridge.
Goddard gives up 2-point reversal. See how long these guys can continue this pace.
4-3 as Paul Murphy sneaks back in. It's a 1-point lead now for Goddard. Coach Glenn Pazinko for EB saying, get one back, get one back.
Goddard, a senior with his eyes set on BYU next year. Transfer from Ohio, as you alluded to earlier, Gordy. And it's Goddard with a Peterson for a 2-point reversal.
Back up to a 3-point lead now for Goddard. 6-3. 10 seconds to go, first period.
Goddard back to the bar, staying aggressive.
Not only did Paul Murphy from Woodbridge have Ben Goddard all over him, Murphy's headgear came down and blocked his vision in front of his eyes. Tough fighting something you can't see. 1 period in the book, 6-3, Ben Goddard. You mentioned he's heading to Brigham Young. What a campus out there in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains in Utah.
So Goddard got his knee twisted there. He's going to need some injury time. It's Phil Hostler to the mat. Wrestlers allowed 90 seconds of injury time. Allowed 2 timeouts. On the second timeout, your opponent would have choice of position. So Goddard's got to be careful here to get the most out of this injury time and hopefully not need another one to avoid giving his opponent choice of position.
He seems to be in a considerable amount of pain. Phil Hostler, the trainer there, having a look at the left knee of Ben Goddard.
Phil Hostler, a legend in his own right, Gordy. Mainstay here at East Brunswick for, oh, I don't know how many years now.
Well, he came with the school when it was built. When they were pouring the concrete, they put him in the middle of the school and said, could be the trainer here.
Well, the plan's been working.
Saw Coach Pazinko take the mouthpiece out of Goddard's mouth.
Let's hope it's nothing serious. As we get a look at Phil Hostler working on Ben Goddard. Now, the referee is there. There's a rule in wrestling. The injured wrestler cannot receive coaching during the injury timeout. So the function of the official there is to make sure we're talking about the injury there, not any coaching and any strategies being sent in.
While the non-injured wrestler can.
Right, correct.
In fact, he's got 3 coaches around him, does Paul Murphy.
And a little glitch to the rule is if the wrestler is injured by blood, then you can coach.
Not sure Goddard's going to go.
It looks like Goddard's not going to be able to continue. So it's Murphy declared the winner by default. So it looks like Goddard's grimace on his face is in a great deal of pain. He's going to get carried off the mat. So a big round of applause for Ben Goddard, unable to continue here at 152. Let's hope it's nothing serious, Gordy.
He's in a good amount of pain. It's Goddard. They're going to take a look at him over on the sidelines here.
Yeah, you know, if he was winning at the time 6-3, so for him to leave that match with a 6-3 lead, you know it was serious. Let's hope for the best there as Gail Marshall takes the mat for East Brunswick at 160.
East Brunswick gives up 6 points on that default. Well, it's now 21-15.
How quickly things change, Gordy. Jamil Scott for the Barons.
160-pound weight class. Jamil's a junior. Gail Marshall from East Brunswick, who's a senior.
So looking down the road to the next couple weight classes, East Brunswick's really going to need a win here from Marshall, one of the stronger wrestlers on the team, a senior, and then follow it up with James Gagnon and Tom Corio, because Woodbridge gets real strong with Ryan Holiday and Joe LaGuarri waiting in the wings at 189 and 215 for the Barons.
And a stalemate, and they'll reset in the center.
So East Brunswick stealing those close ones down below. Could pay homage here for the Bears. With the unexpected injury to Ben Goddard at 152. Could be a 9-point swing to the team score. Instead of East Brunswick picking up 3, 4, or 6, they are forced to give up 6. As it's Jamal Scott in on a takedown for Woodbridge for the early 2-0 lead here at 160.
45 seconds to go here in the first period. Jamil Scott on top, working Gail Marshall. $20 seconds to go, first period.
All Marshall needs to do is take that leg and stand up with it, try to get to his feet for a 1-point neutral. Cut the lead going into the second. He needs to break away and push away.
Just about had it.
It's 1 point as we go out of bounds.
We're going to give him 1 at the end of the first period.
A well-earned 1 by Gail Marshall.
Marshall takes the down position against Jamil Scott. Jamil Scott, long and rangy.
We got a break in the action. It's mentioned Sean Daly, a former East Brunswick wrestler, doing the job for Middlesex County College, ranked in the top in the country, junior colleges at 189 right now, undefeated for Middlesex County College. Crowd looking for some action out of Jamal Scott on top. Offensive wrestler cannot ride parallel, must make an attempt to turn and get out to the side. Look for Marshall to work hand control and explode out of here.
Gail Marshall trailing this one 2-1. Jamil Scott of Woodbridge.
Scott just hanging on top. Needs to be careful. Trying to work in a far cradle now. What Marshall needs to do is pop his arm through. The referee's going to stop it for potentially dangerous. Good call by our official. You can't see him, but we can hear him. Assistant coach from Woodbridge yelling in instructions.
Giving Jamil Scott an earful.
Yeah.
Less than a minute to go, second period. Jamil, though, still on top of this one, 2-1.
Just kind of penetrated right through the headset, Gordy. Assistant coach Ed Bronsdorfer, former Rutgers wrestler, now the assistant coach at Woodbridge, along with John Denudo, under the tutelage of Jerry Bandola. Marshall really needs to get out here and get some points on the board. He needs to get his head off the mat and explode up to his feet. Crucial match for Marshall for seeding for Middlesex County Tournament, also forthcoming. Marshall brings an 8-4 record into this match with some big wins over Rami Evanash of Edison. Senior, bound for Embry-Riddle. Aeronautical School. Needs to get up in the air now. Get off the mat.
Time running out here in the second period. 2 minutes to go.
With 1 period to go, this is a match East Brunswick needs to win. Maybe a choice to East Brunswick's advantage by Scott taking neutral. Strong point for Marshall is on his feet. So I'm sure Marshall not displeased with the choice of Scott. Now Marshall needs to capitalize on that. Marshall needs to get his legs back, get in the whizzer. No, foot out of bounds. Good call by our official. Good call. Not to the Woodbridge side of the bleachers, but in earnest, it was a very good call by our official. Both supporting parts of Woodbridge needed to land in bounds for that to be a takedown. Jamal Scott's foot was clearly over the out of bounds line.
20 seconds gone by here in the third and final period. 2-1, Jamil Scott from Woodbridge on top of Gail Marshall from EB.
And Marshall with no time to waste here. Needs to get busy. Scott in on a double. It's Marshall countering, turning Scott's momentum into a 2-point takedown for himself. Marshall helping his cause with an excellent counter. And Marshall can't hang on the leg. He needs to work up or avoid a stalling call. The referee has not called a lot of stalling tonight. Has been consistent with the call, but he's hit there. You do need to work up on the ankles.
They are going to call a stall on Marshall. Might have seen Jamil Scott sneaking a peek at the clock before. Under a minute to go.
Well, it was a good call. Cannot hang on the legs. You need to work up at all times. So Marshall, strategy to be employed here with a 3-2 lead would be if he gets in trouble to give up a 1-point escape as opposed to a 2-point takedown. So Marshall needs to keep his weight down and keep Scott on the mat. If he sees himself getting in trouble, he needs to let him go for 1, but he cannot give up a 2-point reversal here.
35 seconds to go. Gail Marshall has rallied for a 3-2 lead. Can he hang on?
Both teams getting into the match now. See the Woodbridge team yelling in instructions to Scott. They know what he's got to do. See Coach Buzzinko yelling instructions to Marshall.
15 seconds.
And Marshall wants to stay right there on the out-of-bounds line. Nice, safe area. He's got to avoid the stalling call. He's got a warning on him already. So the boundary line working to the advantage of Gail Marshall there. Gail Marshall with his assignment needs to hang tough.
6 seconds to go for Marshall. Could be another comfort behind win for an EB wrestler. We'll see.
Could be the longest 6 seconds of his wrestling career here. And it's Marshall stealing the win for the Bears.
Terrific job by Gail Marshall to come back from that and take the victory.
A lot of credit to Gail Marshall. All his matches this year have been nail-biters, close scores, and once again, it's Gail Marshall coming up on top for East Brunswick and a big victory.
East Brunswick moving out to a 24-15 lead now over Woodbridge. We're going to get a look for Woodbridge now at the 171-pound class at Damian Reyes.
So it's been East Brunswick with 7 bouts, but only ahead by 9 on the scoreboard.
And East Brunswick getting a look at junior Tom Corio here in the 171-pound weight class.
One of the strong points of the East Brunswick lineup. Tom had a strong outing in the 100 Central tournament among really good competition earlier in the season during the Christmas tournament. Took second place in that tournament, knocking off Bobby Nichols from Hanover Park, state place winner last year. So it's Corio really enjoying a fine season thus far. Corio nursing a little bit of a flu tonight. Might not be at full strength, so Corio wants to do the job early and get off the mat. Corio is a pinner.
40 seconds gone by. First period here, no score. Tom Corio from EB, Damian Reyes from Woodbridge. Fans getting on the referee a little bit. Kevin Rafferty. Minute 5 to go, first period.
Corio in on a double. Needs to keep his feet in bounds. Corio's going to try to pull back, get him away from the boundary line. Now he's going to try to trip the leg. Still no takedown awarded by the referee. There it is now. So we're at 2-0 Corio. Reiterate once again, if you're just joining us, it's a key matchup for East Brunswick with the strength of Woodbridge's lineup coming up next, with the featuring Ryan Halliday and Joe LaGuarri. One of the strongest 1-2 tandem combinations in Middlesex County coming up next for the Barons.
28 seconds to go here in period number 1. Tom Corio, the junior, leading in the 171-pound weight class over Damian Reyes, the senior from Woodbridge. Down to 20 seconds. First period. East Brunswick leading overall 24-15.
Corio's assignment here is a fall. Nothing less than a fall is going to be a safeguard for the Bears. Corio really needs to put 6 on the board for the Bears here. Certainly capable of doing it. One of the best pinners on the team.
We've run out of time here in the first period. Corio maintaining the 2-0 lead over Reyes.
Reyes deferred his choice to Corio. Reyes will take choice in the third period. Corio taking the bottom. Look for a sit and a turn in from Corio, one of his patented moves. Attempted it. Corio needs to get his head off the mat. Reyes has to watch himself in the stall call. You cannot just stay on that Navy ride and thread the legs. You have to stay aggressive. Saw that called on Marshall about earlier. A 1-point escape for Corio.
Corio boosting that lead to 3-0 now over Reyes. Minute 20 to go here in the second period.
Corio in on a double. Converts it to a 2-point takedown and a cradle. Now if Corio can pull him in, he could score off it. You can't score on the edge of the mat there.
Corio up 5-0 now in Reyes with minute 1 left to go, second period. Corio certainly getting the better of the action here in period number 2. Reyes in the down position.
Now Corio is going to let him go here, try to work on his feet. Takes the optional start. Gives one away. Feels he's stronger on his feet. So Corio's willing to give up the 1 point in exchange for a 2-point takedown. Reyes just holding on to that leg for dear life, trying to avoid giving up the takedown. Referee calls a stalemate. So look for Corio to look for the big move here.
37 seconds left to go here, second period. 5-1, Tom Corio on top of Damian Reyes.
Corio in on a single, wants to pull him back in. Now Corio just looking for the fall here. 2-point takedown, looking for the stick.
Corio in business. He's got it. Well, that's a big win right there for Corio.
And a fall.
Big win for the team.
Get a look at Coach Bandola, vehemently upset. The Woodbridge staff felt it was on the line. But from our optimum viewpoint, Corio did have him inbounds and did stick him.
Big 6 points for the team. Tom Corio the pin with 9 seconds to go in the second period. Tops Damian Reyes. And East Brunswick now up 30-15 as we head into the bigger guys. Second pin of the night. He joins Chris Yanazzo in that category. Now we get a look at Ryan Halliday for Woodbridge.
Halliday missed all last year. He was out with an injury from football season. So he's back after 2 years absent, but his sophomore year was ranked nationally in the country. Year-round competitor. So it's Halliday with certainly the experience to his advantage here at 189 for the Barons.
Working on James Gagnon, the sophomore. Look at Gagnon get on Halliday. Halliday right back in it. They each get 2 points.
Good call by our official. Gagnon enjoying some success this year for East Brunswick. Had a great tournament also at Hunterdon Central along with Corio, where he knocked off the #1 seed and went on to place third in that tournament. Only a sophomore.
Minute 7 to go, opening period. 2-2. James Gagnon, the sophomore, has work cut out for him against the much talked about Ryan Halliday for Woodbridge.
1-point escape for Gagnon.
Gagnon up 3-2. 189-pound weight class.
Gagnon trying to work a headlock. Halliday quickly converting, taking Gagnon to his back. Looks like going to be a fall here. He's got him.
35 seconds to go in the first period. And Halliday emerges with the pin over Gagnon, the sophomore. James giving up a lot of experience there.
Woodbridge next wrestler, Joe Liguori, defending district champ here at 215.
30-21 now. East Brunswick leads it. Joe Liguori at 215, also an all-county linebacker on the football team.
It's Fleischhauser.
Adam Fleischauer, just a sophomore for EB. In fact, East Brunswick's going to finish out with sophomores. 4 in a row. Gagnon the sophomore, Fleischauer the sophomore. Expecting Brian Forte at 275. .25 seconds gone by in the opening period. Joe Liguori from Woodbridge and Adam Fleischauer from EB. Liguori got Fleischauer in some trouble. Another quick pin
Back-to-back pins for the Barons.
This one took just 44 seconds.
So as promised, this one's coming down to heavyweight, Gordy.
Woodbridge back in it. East Brunswick now leads 30-27.
Looks like Coach Bazinko is going to go with Dennis Bruno here at heavyweight. Here's what it all comes down to. If you're at home,
just underway. Two big guys. Rajan Torres.
at about 500 pounds in the middle of the mat right now, Gordy. Let's see which way it's going to fall.
Against big Dennis Bruno.
Dennis enjoying real good success this year. He's off to an 8-3 start. Had a good showing at Hunter Central. Had some big wins earlier this year. Going to be a strong point to come in the East Brunswick lineup. Nothing better than closing with a solid finish. Dennis Bruno has been providing that this year for East Brunswick. A solid wrestler, and Dennis Bruno, he's got his work cut out for him here. With East Brunswick safeguarding a 3-point lead here at heavyweight. A win for Woodbridge, a regular decision would tie it. A win for East Brunswick obviously would take the victory for the Bears.
The second time we've seen Dennis Bruno's headgear come off.
The added pressure of wrestling heavyweight, you have the burden of the team score on your back. In addition to your own bout, you got the team score on your back. So it's an opportunity for Bruno to be the GOAT or the hero here. He carries the fate of his team.
Just over a minute to go here in the first period. Still no score between the big men.
Now the bout cannot end in a tie.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on Rajan Torres.
We have a taunting call.
Yeah, he was instigating a little bit, saying, come on, to Dennis Bruno, and that cost him. Referee Kevin Rafferty awarding Bruno with a point.
Sometimes a referee can pick up things in the middle of the mat that we can't from the sideline some 20 feet away. The coach has the right to ask for an explanation from the official, which Coach Bandol is doing. If you question the call of the official and you're proven wrong, it's your first warning, and on the second warning, you would lose a team point. So it's the art of the coach to know the proper wording when picking your argument. And I'm sure Jerry Bandola knows the right way to put it. You also want to get into the referee's head a little bit. See if you can keep the call from happening again.
Clearly see that Rajan Torres is an emotional wrestler. We saw an unsportsmanlike call in the JV match. One of the fellows who lost the match kind of slammed the mat a couple times with his fist. Frustration. They deducted a team point for that. 35 seconds to go, first period.
If you watch it at home, JV matches are usually wrestled prior to the varsity match. Gives the younger wrestlers the chance and the opportunity to sharpen their skills to make it up to the varsity level.
"15 seconds to go here, first period, 1-0, Dennis Bruno.
Now we've been talking about Bruno's mission, and Torres knows his mission too for Woodbridge. He needs at least a major decision for the Barons to come up with a victory here tonight, or a fall. More falls occur at heavyweight than probably any other weight class. So it's not unlikely that we can see a fall at heavyweight.
Bruno taking a look at his head coach, Glenn Pazinko, getting some instruction before we start the second period. 30-27 is the team score. Dennis Bruno with a 1-0 lead here in this match.
Well, East Brunswick already has had a 1-point match this year. Coming down to heavyweight again, East Brunswick and Edison was a 1-point match. So we're gonna have another tight one here. Unfortunately, the difference for the Bears has been the unexpected injury to Ben Goddard at 152, which put 6 points on the board for Woodbridge. A match that East Brunswick certainly looked like it was on its way of winning. on the untimely injury to Ben Goddard.
30 seconds gone by in the second period. Still 1-0 Bruno on the strength of an unsportsmanlike conduct call on Torres.
It's Torres in on a leg, and Bruno spinning around and converting for a 2-point takedown. So Bruno working off Torres' shot and converting into a 2-point takedown.
So 3-0 Bruno and a point for the escape to Torres. 3-1 Bruno. Less than a minute to go, second period.
Bruno's saying something. I can't hear what it is. Okay, he was telling the ref that Woodbridge wrestler's bleeding. So Torres, I'll tell you a little bit about the blood rule, why I have a break in action. Wrestlers entitled to 5 minutes of blood time, which is stopped and re-added every time another break in the action occurs for blood for a total of 5 minutes. And as we alluded to earlier, the wrestler can get coached during blood timeouts, unlike a regular injury time.
It's up on his forehead. Looks like he's got a little split on his forehead.
So you see Coach Bandola sending in the instructions.
They're going to give him the coaching instructions before they're going to take care of the blood.
Coaches in khaki and black. And on the other side, we can't get a look at Dennis Bruno, but Coach Bazinko is also giving him instructions. It all comes down to heavyweight, as we've seen it time and time again this year for the Bears.
Clock showing 55 seconds to go here in the second period. Team score is East Brunswick 30, Woodbridge 27. We talked about it before. East Brunswick, in all likelihood, would have been in a little better position this evening were it not for the injury to Ben Goddard in the 152-pound class. He was up 6-3 on Paul Murphy when it looked like Goddard suffered some type of knee injury and had to default. That gave 6 points to Paul Murphy and Woodbridge.
East Brunswick travels to J.P. Stevens Friday for another pivotal Red Division GMC match. Now Woodbridge wrestled J.P. Stevens last week. J.P. Stevens beat Woodbridge by 3 points, so we should see another close match Friday against J.P. Stevens. That match is 7 o'clock at J.P. Stevens High School, January 22nd. Come out and support the Bears at J.P. Stevens.
They're going to give Rajan Torres a big tape job here. If his headpiece gets moved, that's going to erase the whole tape job. In fact, they might be cutting off circulation to his entire body. By the way, I can see them taping it. Holy mackerel. I think my pick would have been to take the headpiece off, then do the tape job, then put the headpiece on. We'll see how much I know. Rajan Torres from Woodbridge. Dennis Bruno from East Brunswick, with Bruno leading at 3-1 and his team hanging on to a 3-point lead, 30-27. 50 seconds left to go, second period. Woodbridge coaches are upset. Looked like Torres kind of threw the arm in there. As
yeah, it looked like a little rough.
Lower forearm, yeah.
Unnecessary roughness. Now the next time it's going to be 2 points.
It's almost like a chop or a mini punch there thrown by Torres. So that gives Bruno a 4-1 lead. 30 seconds to go here in the second period.
Kevin Rafferty explaining the call to Coach Bandola.
Bandola works the refs and the assistants work on instructing Torres.
It's a certain little art there. Torres extends a handshake to Bruno. Always like to see good sportsmanship.
Absolutely. Down to 22 seconds to go, second period. Bruno with a 4-point lead.
This match is far from over, Gordy.
Bruno and Torres lock up again. 10 seconds to go, second period.
Bruno needs to stay aggressive. Can't ride that lead. He's warned for pushing and shoving. Referee feels Bruno's just trying to ride that lead. Uses forearms and elbows to back Torres off. Good call by our official.
Drew a sarcastic applause from the Woodbridge side. 2 seconds to go, 1. There's the end of 2 periods. Dennis Bruno pushes the lead from 1-0 to 4-1 at the end of 2 periods. Getting set for our final 2 minutes. Both teams come into this match 1-3 on the season. East Brunswick taking another step toward 500 here. If Dennis Bruno can hang on and hold off big Rajan Torres.
It's Bruno with a sit and turn in for a 1-point escape.
Pushes the lead up to 5-1. 10 seconds gone by, third and final period.
Kevin Rafferty really on the money tonight, really done a nice job officiating, kept this match under control.
I'll tell you what, Dennis Bruno has countered everything that Rajan Torres has tried to do.
Well, that's been Bruno's strategy. He's been scoring his points off of Torres' shots, staying busy enough.
Torres has tried that bull rush a couple of times, and Bruno with a little bit lower center of gravity has been able to counter that. Minute 10 to go, third period. 5-1 Dennis Bruno.
So I got a good look at Torres. I didn't realize when he first came out, but I bet you he's every bit of 260 pounds, maybe with a slight advantage in weight over Bruno. Bruno weighing in at 254. Torres, a big boy of his own right.
You sense that Torres is tiring a little bit because when the referee blew the whistle, he backed up a couple of
He's
steps.
going to have to avoid the stalling call, but it's Bruno backing on his feet. Bruno needs to get in there. Good call by our official. I saw it coming.
There's a stall, 1 point for Torres. That makes it 5-2. Dennis Bruno still leading by 3 with 43 seconds left to go in the third and final period.
Bruno's backing again. Needs to go forward, needs to circle. Best offense he can have here is to stay aggressive. Can't give up the big move here with 23 seconds to go. It's Torres looking for the throw.
15 seconds left, 5-2, Dennis Bruno.
Strategy for Bruno is to get in on a shot here, get lower than Torres, avoid the big move.
It's not going to happen. Bruno's going to win it.
Well, it's East Brunswick overcoming the injury to Ben Goddard.
That may turn out to be a bit of a rallying cry. May have turned out to be that way anyway. Looked like the injury to Ben Goddard may have stopped some momentum, but East Brunswick maintains the lead and improves its record to 2-3 on the season by knocking off Woodbridge by the final score of 33-27. And the momentum really kind of slowed down there in the heavier weights, as you had mentioned, because Woodbridge got back-to-back pins by Damian Reyes and Ryan Halliday. But EB, on the strength of Dennis Bruno, wins this one on the final match.
Oh, big win for the Bears tonight. And let's hope the momentum can carry over to J.P. Stevens on Friday.
All right, once again, East Brunswick wins it over Woodbridge 33-27. East Brunswick improves to 2-3 on the season. Woodbridge slips down to 1-4. And that'll do it for us here at East Brunswick High School. For Stu Kohn, I'm Gordy Deal. Have a good night.